Hello everyone, I'm Psychotic, and that's also my screen name. Today we're taking a peek at a real up-and-comer of a new RPG. This game is created by a single developer and shows some huge promise. It's most definitely still a work in progress. There are several placeholders in the game for features the developer hasn't really had an opportunity to add yet, but there's still enough content to really make the game feel like it's worth playing. Generally speaking, I don't get too excited about early access games, but honestly, this one's super fun. The developer is absolutely amazing about keeping the updates rolling out. He just completely revamped the skill trees. He's got some new things coming. He's very transparent and talks to the community. It's awesome. There's an absolutely massive amount of skill trees to choose from. There's harvesting, there's crafting. You can even build a town. So buckle up and get ready for a ride while we check out the Bloodline. And as always, if you learn anything useful today or if you have a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. And if you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game to showcase a little bit of the new character creation and see how that goes. So I figure that's something everybody's going to be a little interested in. And then after that, we will switch over to my more established character so that I can show some of the other mechanics of the game that we can't really get from the first snapshot. So we're going to start out in here with some character creation. You can be male or female, which is super exciting, so you can change that at will. We're not going to get too excited about character creation. We're just going to show some of the possible options because we are not going to keep this guy. So it's not really going to be an issue. You can change your sizes of things. So we'll make him a little chonky because I'm chonky, so that checks out, right? Oh, that might be a bit much. There we go. So you can change all of this. You can make him super skinny, you can make him super big. Whatever you feel like. Whatever speaks to you when you're creating your character. And you can also change voice pitch.
Stand your ground.
Victory!
Shield wall!
So we'll go ahead and create our character. Now there are an absolute crap ton of skills that you can use in here. You have a jumping skill. You have a sprinting skill. You have a skill for everything that you can possibly think of. All your combat skills, all your magic skills. You can even, should you feel the need, wall run and jump and climb. You have a grappling hook. It only works on things that aren't made of stone, so that's a thing. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some clothes here. Because right now we're naked, and that's not okay. Bump, 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 bump. There we go, that's a little bit better. Whoops. Did escape one too many times there. Now, every time that you get an achievement, and there are achievements for all kinds of stuff, like there we just got one for sprinting 100 meters, you get a boost in gold and XP. So, and not a terrible lot of gold. I mean, we're looking at, we're at 265, so we didn't get very much from that. But we will go ahead and look at the skill trees. So there's melee, there's lots of different types of weapons. To the best of my knowledge, halberds haven't been implemented yet. That's one of the things that the early access is just a placeholder at the moment. I particularly like the spears, but pretty much none of the weapons are super meta. Any of them work just as well as the others. For ranged, you have an option between bows and flintlock. Now, I've created some flintlocks using the engineering skill on my main character, but I really don't like their reload times, so I'm thinking of switching to a bow. Now, there are many, many, many schools of magic here. So that's a thing. As far as I know, aeromancy, corruption, and thaumaturgy don't exist yet. Vampirism is grayed out, but it is not a work in progress. Well, I'm sure it's still a work in progress, but it's not work in progress status. You have to contract vampirism before you can see this tree. So that's what's going on there. We are going to take a pyromancy spell, though. There is also a tech tree. So you can put a point in a hip lantern or a zip line. Now, it gets very dark at night and very hard to see, and it's particularly problematic during combat. The unfortunate thing with the hip lantern is its radius is super small. We're talking like a meter or 3 feet for us Americans. It's not really worth the point when you can put that same point into your pyromancy up over here and light multiple enemies on fire, because this spell has 3 charges, so I can hit 3 different enemies, light them on fire, and now I have 3 torches, all for the same point. Also, people are on fire, which is always fun. So we can go into our skill book here. We just got our running increase to level 2. We can drop that on our bar. So you can see we have 3 charges before the cooldown, and the cooldown's only 3 seconds, so it's not super bad. There's even a ragdolling skill, guys. I mean, look at this. Okay, we didn't get a skill up off of that one, but he ragdolled. Come on, get up. If we get a little bit more height... Yep, there's our ragdolling skill up. And a total of 50 damage, which gave us 10 XP and 5 gold. Now, almost everything that you do gathering and or crafting wise is going to have a mini game. So there's a really neat one here with rune reading. So there's 2 bookshelves here. There's one here on the left and one on the right. So if you take from the left, you get a pyromancy book. And if you take from the right, you get a cryomancy book. And those are the only 2 that are available here. There is a library that you can build in your village, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But we can... he's going to tell us how to do it, quote unquote. But you can skill level up here. So we could pick pyromancy or cryomancy. Now we already have a pyromancy skill, so it makes sense to go there. But the rune reading works off of, here you have your alphabet, and here you have the runes and the equation. Now these tiles are randomly generated. And every 5, I think it is, iterations of words that you do, it gets shuffled. These get shuffled. This stays the same. So basically you try to fill out the word up here. You try to do it in order with no errors. If you do it with no errors and within the little timer that circles around, then you get bonus XP. So the first one that you do, you'll get 1 XP. The second one, you'll get 2 XP. Not 2 as in 2, but as in 1 and then 2, so 3 total. And then if you get 3, then that's, 1 and 2, which is 3, plus 3 is 6. You can rack up a lot of XP this way. So it's a really nice boost in the beginning, but it also gives you those levels towards your skill. So we'll do a couple of them here. So let's see, we've got W is the one that looks like a P. And some of these are a little confusing, like this is the actual P, but this is W, even though it looks like a P. So we're going to look at W, I, T. Where's A, H? The M always throws me off too, because this is M, but this is E. So I think we can do this. Let's do W, I, T, H, E, R, E, U, R, S, and T. And that'll give us a crap ton of XP. I mean, that was 57 XP. That was a full level off of a single word from the beginning, which is kind of cool. We'll do, let's see here, F, L, A, M, E, B, U, R, S, and T. Oh, I did Flame Burst again. So see, they're red. I get nothing for those, but you still get the XP for the ones that you get right. So let's do one more. H, E, A, T, B, U, R, S, T. So 38 for that guy. Now, if you put a wrong one in there somewhere, let's say let's do H, E, I lost A, T, S, and we're going to purposely screw up P. We know that's P, but we're going to grab this one. A, R, and K. So that resets your combo. So we get significantly less XP. And that's also going to level up our pyromancy. I don't think we did enough. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we're pyromancy level 2 just because of that. So that's kind of a neat little thing that they added as far as mini games go. You get some extra ragdoll XP, because why not, right? Alright. So here's the engineering guy. He'll teach you how to do engineering if you take his quest. This guy here is going to give you a combat quest. So he'll also give you your first weapon. And he explains a little bit of the backstory here. So he explains the Harbinger bloodline. So you're the chosen by the gods. Your family is, your bloodline. And it's been a while since they've had to fight the Unforgiven, which come from a different realm. They come to this realm, and the Chosen's bloodline, the Harbinger's bloodline is to stop them. And you're chosen by the god of the world. So that's the main drive of the story here. And that's kind of an interesting take on it. Here we can pick our weapon. I like spear. It really doesn't matter. They're all pretty equivalent. There's not really a meta for the weapons. All of them work pretty well. So you just tap, or you can hold to do a power strike. This guy here teaches alchemy, so there's a little mini thing for alchemy. So let's see what he's got for us. So he wants us to make a potion. And he wants us to make it out of guild leaf and bone dust. So he wanted us to make a healing potion. Now, the materials have different effects based on what you pick. So here we're starting in chopped, which gives restore health by 35 points. It does boost stamina regeneration for 25 seconds if you do ground instead. If you do cooled, you get mana by 15 points. And if you do heated, you get restore stamina by 15 points. So he wanted us to do healing and health regeneration. So we're going to do heated on the bone dust and chopped on the guild leaf. And you can name your potion up here, so we can call it healing pot. And you can actually save them so that you can load them back up quickly if it's a potion that you use regularly and you particularly enjoy, which is super cool. We get some free XP for that. And we can come over here. This guy teaches you how the cooking works. Now, for his quest, you really need to pay attention to what he has to say, because if you don't catch the recipe, there's not a way to see it in the journal here. So if you see in the top right, it says the basics of cooking, cook basic stew. And if we come over here, he doesn't, oh, I guess he does, he tells you, okay. So he did fix that. That's new. The first time I did this, it didn't say in there. So you just had to remember it from the quest. But there are still some other things that you're going to want to remember quest-wise where they just don't share it with you readily. And that's fine. I mean, it harkens back to the old RPGs. Alright, now he's going to have us make a loaf of bread. So he told us how to make flour, which we skipped right through because I already know. It's going to be 2 wheat per flour, and we need 4 flour to make a bread. So we can just repeat the recipe by clicking over here and hitting cook again. And then we're going to put 4 flour in to make a bread. Excellent. And there are other recipes. Some of them you can figure out through trial and error. And sometimes for certain quests, villagers will give you recipes. So that's super cool. This guy here is going to teach you about the climbing and or the grappling hook mechanic, depending on how you want to play this. He wants you to get his hat up there. So your grappling hook doesn't work on stone, but you can actually aim up here on the wood. Now, one of the tricks with climbing is if you have something in your hand, you can't climb. So we've got our melee weapon out here, and there's a really neat mechanic in this game. If you roll your mouse button up, you get a melee weapon. If you roll it down, you get your ranged weapon. And if you hit T, you put it away. So we're actually going to do a combination here. We're going to use the rope to get up to partial. And then we're going to leap off of that. What? Whoop, and I missed. Alright, so we're still going to wind up climbing. That's alright. So we got his hat. Oh, that's the wrong guy. He's going to want us to collect some stuff outside for the harvesting. These things in here are still not finished. This is the requisition office, so it allows you to buy basic goods for a fair price. The problem is wood bundles aren't implemented in the game yet. So that and the stable here you can't build. But that's alright. There's plenty of stuff that you can build out here. Now, one of the other fun mechanics, fun little mini games here, is the fishing mini game. So this one is fairly straightforward. It's a slider back and forth. You have to get it between the 2 gold bars. But if you can hit the green one, then you get a critical, which gives you 3 bonus XP per critical hit, as well as giving you a bigger jump. As you can see, if I intentionally miss, we didn't get the 3, but we did get the, and a much smaller jump. And it doesn't take a lot with that bonus XP to get a quick fishing level, that's for sure. So you can see the difference when we intentionally miss it versus when we hit them. How much of a big difference that makes at the bottom of the bar. So there's our fishing level, yep. So this gal is going to teach us about building the village. So each of these buildings out here that's broken down are buildings that you can actually build up. So we'll talk to her. She's going to make us build some decorations first, which I don't really care for, but I guess it's good to know how to do it at the very least. So if we hit tab, we can go to our crafting, fences and walls, and she wants us to do a stick fence. So we're going to hold Z and turn the mouse. And then they will link up after that if you get your angle right. A couple of right clicks clears it out. So now she's going to have us build a bakery. She wanted us to rename the village, and I didn't, but we are going to go over some of the mechanics on the sign here. So you can rename your village at any time. It starts out as Ironhaven, but you can change it whenever you want. You can even randomize it. But for each building type that you build, he's got some things here where you accrue XP, and if you see, to increase your village necromancer's level, construct necromancer-themed buildings and decorations. Increasing the villager's necromancer level will attract unholy NPCs and creatures to your village. You'll also unlock more necromancer-themed buildings and decorations. So this is coming quite a ways. He's got a very ambitious thing here. I don't know if this is implemented or not. I only have a handful of buildings on my main save. But, because they are very expensive. You can see, like, the Wizard's Tower here. Some of this stuff isn't implemented yet, and it is still in early access, but he is doing regular updates, so I don't really have any issues trying to help him promote his game, because it's actually got quite a bit to it already, and he intends to add significantly more. So, like, the Arcane Workbench, the Magician's Shop don't exist yet. Permanent increase to maximum mana by 100 points. That doesn't actually work, or at least it didn't when I built mine, just yet. The Engineer's Shop does work. You get an Engineer's Workbench and an Engineer's Shop. The Brewery is not available yet. It doesn't do anything yet. The Clothier doesn't do anything yet. The Smithy does. You get a weapon crafting anvil, a smelting oven, and a weapon merchant, which is super nice. The Fletcher doesn't do anything yet. As far as I know, there's no way to make arrows yet. You kind of have to buy them all. But money's not really an issue in this game, so it's not that bad. The Aviary, same thing. Not quite ready. Herbalist Shop, not quite ready. The Alchemist has a potion crafting station, but that's it. No merchant yet. General Store doesn't do anything yet. The Necromancer's Shrine, however, you can collect spirit essences by using Necromancer spells, and you can use them here to upgrade your Necromancy skill. The Quarry doesn't function yet, but it will make nodes available for you here to mine daily, which is kind of nice. The Paladin's Tower, there's no altar yet for the Paladin-based skills, but there is a statue to Arosa. The Blood Pool does the same thing that the Necromancy place does, except for blood magic, but it also uses spirit essence that comes from Necromancy. So Necromancy and blood magic kind of play hand in hand. The Armorer building doesn't even exist at all yet. It doesn't even have a description. The Logging Hut gives you logging jobs daily that you can do. And then the Baker gives you a Baker Merchant, which is super nice. You can buy wheat and things there and some various baked goods. The Profit Increase and the Visitors don't actually exist yet, but that's all right. So for the quest, we need to initiate that, and then we'll talk to her again, and she's going to give us some materials to dump into it. Not quite enough to finish it, but enough to get her started. So then to apply your materials, you would just hold the up. It's a little slow, but it is what it is. So we only have 96 wood, we only have 15 rocks, and we don't have enough wheat either, but it's close. So that's all ready to go. Now, there is a quest to teach you to pick up, use the harvesting skill. And he has you pick up some of these goblin molds out here. So as you can see, there's no real mini game for foraging yet, but that's fine. Nope, we got a goblin. Oh, there's two. Oh shit, there's three. All right. So with that, before we get too interested in quests on this particular character, we're going to switch to my character that's more established so I can show you some of the other mechanics in the game. All right, so here we are on my more established character. You can see I've got the church up. Eventually the respec altar is going to be in there. Over here we've got our engineering building. Over here we've got our bakery. Here we've got our smithy. Back over here we've got our wizard tower. And then I've got some necromancy buildings going up here, and then back over there will be a graveyard eventually. Now, I did kind of bum rush because there's a very useful skill in the Druidism tree that allows you to turn into a bird, and it makes it much easier to get around the map. So I actually have a couple of points in Druidism, but for the most part, I like subverting the norm. So we're the chosen by this land's god. Here's the bird. To do his holy work and remove these interlopers that are trying to enter our realm. So I, of course, decided that I would be a necromantic blood mage, because that checks out. With a little bit of fire spells so I can see easier in the dark. But we're gonna speed on over here to show some of this, because we didn't have any coal, so we couldn't show. So when you do this aspect of it, there's no minigame for the smelting. However, for the crafting, there's a really fun little minigame here. So we're going to make a copper short sword. And the minigame here is you'll be given arrows that go up, down, left, or right. And W, A, S, D, and F correspond to the directions. So you have 3 failures before your piece stops at whatever quality you're currently at. If you make it all the way to the top, it's S quality, and you get the most possible damage out of it. So not only do you have to hit the right button, but you have to hit it in the right timing when it flashes. It's not particularly difficult in the early levels, but it gets going faster when you get down to some of the other stuff down here. But yeah, it's just a fun little minigame for crafting. It's different and exciting. Ta-da! Alright, now we're going to check out the world map and see some of what exploration is available. And you can do that from pretty much anywhere, which is kind of nice. So there are several different types of events that can happen here on the world map. Also, we can move around quite a bit. You can actually see the whole map. It takes quite a while to get anywhere. Like, the map is fairly large. And so, like, here is the first real town that you encounter. Here's where you get your wheat. And then there are these guys where if you click the middle mouse button, it'll show you a ring and location highlights. So that whole zone is that big. Now, these zones are static. This one has a lot of stuff in there. This one's pretty big too. And it's got a crypt, a castle, and some other things. Then there's one over here. And the map is pretty damn big. As it slides clear over into here, there's another small town here. There's a crater up here that you can investigate with a bunch of stuff going on. There's a whole friggin' desert up here if you get up high enough. And there's stuff out in the desert too. So that's super cool. And then we can hit C to come back to our guy. Now, the events that crop up are fairly easy if you're zoomed in to see what they are. If there's a little green tree, then you'll have an abundance of tree harvesting opportunities. If it's crossed pickaxes, then it will be an abundance of ore harvesting opportunities. That, with the red symbol, means that it's a roving gang that will try to fight you. So we're actually going to go try to start some crap with them just to show off combat a little bit. Now, one of the other reasons that I really, really like necromancy is, 1, I can have a little friend here, and 2, my necromancy spell seeks people, which is super nice. And then, of course, your blood magic for the drain. Woo! Trying to get that crit on him. It's not working very well. There's a little bit of combat. I didn't even get my fun spell. So hitting corpses with that beam attack there puts those purple things up, and if I get enough of those, I get a floating head that also has seeking bolts that will fly around and follow me. So that's kind of fun. So the mining minigame here is fairly straightforward. You have a bar that slides across. You hit it in green to get bonus XP and potentially extra loot. It's the same thing when you harvest trees. It's the same little minigame. So that's not too hard to understand. It does not bounce like the fishing one does. If it gets to the other side, you just auto-fail. If you hit it in the red, you still get 1 material, but you don't get any bonus XP, which is kind of harmful. And these little areas, like when we encountered those guys, this area is random. So it's just a little random map with some random nodes and things that we can harvest, as well as the combat that was the whole reason it was here. When we go to the bigger areas, those are going to be more static, and they're going to allow you to actually explore a zone instead of just collect some materials and carry on. Let's see if we can't see an event or two that aren't combat related. Oh. Oh, those guys are yellow. Oh, nope, it was still combat. Those ones are bandits. There's my skull. Life drain never goes awry. Alright. Then we can use some mana regen and some healing here. Alright. So that was interesting. So let's go ahead and carry on to one of the explorable zones. So these zones are a little bit more static and have some other interesting things going on with them. Some free harvesting, foraging opportunities here. Looks like a couple goblins. So if we go into sneak mode, the burn ticks actually have sneak damage on them too, which is always fun. Alright. There's some fishing around here, some harvesting available. And you can see, like, there's some structures in this map, so it's got quite a bit more to it. It's pretty damn big. Swimming's pretty slow, so we'll go ahead and fly. And hitting control changes your hotbars, so you actually have 2 bars worth of 1 through 5. Which is always nice. We got some exploration in here. You can actually hit C to slow time, but it drains stamina, which is not good mid-combat, unless you really need the help. Which sometimes you do. Sometimes they come at you in mass enough that it's problematic. Gotta love them power strikes. I did not expect there to be this many things hanging out here. you can see the sun's just now starting to go down, and you can already see how dark it's getting. Which is why I like lighting enemies on fire. Look at that. He's a running torch for me. Alright. So we got a nice little place we can check out. Some loots. See, we can go all the way up to the top and see what's going on in here. I haven't actually really explored this place all that much. There is no inventory limit, so you don't have to be shy about taking literally everything. There's not a slot nor a weight limit. It wouldn't let us fit out the window as a person, but it would as a bird. Oh hey, look, a lost spirit. So we can actually use our necromancy to steal his soul. And get a level up right like that. We're now necromancy 3. Come on down into the crypt. Got some collectibles here that we can snatch up. Yep. Unfortunately, the life drain spells aren't going to help us with the undead, which is a good attention to detail on his part. It will kill them, but we won't get any life off of it. There's just all kinds of crap to loot. Oh, we still have 10 seconds left on the bird spell. It keeps just summoning more. This might be a good XP farming spot, realistically. Oh, nice long corridor. Some more things to raid. Finding these, you have the potential when you open coffins for a vampire to pop out and bite you, and that's how you contract vampirism. I don't particularly want it on this character, seeing as he's a necromancer, and that would be awkward to be a necromancer that is also dead. But there is a way, if you contract it and you didn't mean to cure it, if you can make it to the church in time. So yeah, there's just a nice little exploration area there. Oh, cool. Skull caps. I think these are for a quest. Alright. There's a fancy tower over here. A little camp down there. See, we could have walked over here and then climbed the cliff side, but that's why I like putting a couple points into druidry. So it really makes it a little easier to get around. Goblins down there. Okay, just basically a whole camp going on up here. That's kind of cool. And here we can, whoops, use our climb skill. We had to put our spear away to actually be able to climb. I got a little bit of a cooldown left on the bird spell. I thought this place was going to be fun to explore, but it looks like it's mostly combat. There we go. Stairs are for chumps. What's this? Sometimes you can get skills out of books that you find laying around. I was hoping that was a skill book, but if it is, I'm assuming... Nope, there it is. So we learned Sphinx cat form. That's exciting. And a mana crystal attachment that mounts to our wrist. When charged, it can be... Oh, nice. Looks neat, though. Alright, and the nice thing is we don't actually have to walk back to the boundary to leave. We can just go straight to the map. So we're going to head to the big town over here so that we can show kind of what's going on there. Alright, here we are at the town, so we'll go ahead and pop in. Here we can see you've got your taming trainer over here, you've got your stable masters. These guys here deal with engineering. So there's actually a robot that you can make. There's a robot that you can make an engineering for, an autonomous bot that will follow you around and help you out according to the description. And then up here in tier 2, there is the ore identification drone that will locate ores nearby, and a heli-light. It's a gyrocopter that'll fly around and provide you some light. Now, I did make one of these, but I haven't had the heart to try it yet, because it says upon taking even a small amount of damage, it detonates, and I don't want to lose it because it was resource expensive. Right here we've got an alchemist shop that you can go in. We've got a fletchery that you can go in. We should actually probably do that because I want to give up my guns and switch to bows. So we're gonna... The downside to this is you can't just hold down click. Now, because I've done a quest for this gentleman, we have a 50% discount. And that's going to vary by vendor to vendor as well as location to location. The more they like you in a location, the better your prices with the vendors are going to be. And then doing quests for them also gives you better prices. 100's not the cap. 100's excessive after clicking that much. I bought 220 bullets and didn't wound up not liking guns. So, see, those aren't worth anything. See, we can sell off some of our junk here. Oh, that's way more than what the arrows cost. Okay. Yeah, see what I mean about money not being hard to come by? Like, this stuff's just what we just found. So we made 10 grand off of him. And then we can equip the set bow. So yeah. There we go. We're now the proud owner of a bow. So you can roll up on your mouse to get a melee weapon, roll down to get your ranged weapon, and then T to put your weapon away. Let's see. Oh, right, the guild. The whole reason we came here. Okay, so that was the Fletcher, which means, yep, this one's the guild. So you can get some quests here. So this is kill 15 skeletons at Parford Lake. That's where we just were. So that'll get us some guild coins. I don't know if they've been implemented or yet. Not yet. I have yet to be able to find a vendor for the guild. There's some quest givers here. There's a big church up there. I'm assuming that's the one where you cure vampirism. You can see the guy up there had a quest. If you come up this way... I picked the wrong side, didn't I? Yeah. No? Here it is. This is the market square. So you've got a fishing gal over here. You've got jewelry merchant. You've got potion merchant. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. There's an inn in here where you can go in and talk to people. You can also buy stuff from the guy there. There's a full blacksmith up here that you can work on and buy stuff from. He's actually where I got the dapper armor that we are in. So it's not the starting gear. But you can come up here to him. I've got a quest from him, but we can still see his stock. So you can see some of the stuff that he's got for sale. I'm in all light armor because I like to be mobile. As evidenced by the fact that I can turn into a bird. But all in all, I think this game has quite a bit to it already, and I really think it's worth the buy. I mean, it's early access, so it's cheap. And the guy he's a solo developer. He's selling early access so he can finish up the game, and he's actually making regular updates to it, which is kind of surprising anymore with open access or early access games, because they don't always update as frequently as we would like. But it's interesting. There's some jobs here that you can take too, just to give you some XP boosts, and most of them are things you're going to do anyway, like kill roaming bandits, kill undead hordes, kill goblins, and collect climbing orbs. So, I mean, that's all well and good. But yeah, if it's something that you guys are interested in playing, if you like RPGs or if you want to support the guy, I highly recommend getting it. It's quite a blast. I've put quite a few hours into it, as shown by my skills. You can actually see just how many different types of skills there are here. There are a crap ton of different skills. Pickpocketing, I don't know if that's implemented or not yet. I haven't actually tried to pickpocket anybody. There's loot playing, there's speechcraft, there's swimming, fletching, taming, potioning, necrocrafting. Oh, that's not ready yet. See, he's nice enough to tell you what's not actually implemented yet. So that's cool. All your levels show up here in your passive levels, which is nice. You've got your mounts here. So we actually got a donkey for one of our starter quests. I don't know that we can spawn him in town. I don't really use the donkey. I prefer the bird. But if I didn't have the bird, I would use the donkey. I used it up until I got the skills high enough to get the bird. But yeah, I thought that people would be interested in this. I was very interested. So if you're as interested as I am, maybe go check it out. But yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. If you learned anything useful today, or if you had a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.